In the previous tutorial, we set up a one versus everyone game called Test. So now we have launched the one versus everyone game, and once we come to the screen here, we can actually click on the instructions if you want some more detailed instructions on playing the game, and they'll pop up right on the screen. And then we can just click anywhere to hide these instructions. And at the bottom, we will type in the name of our game, and the name of our game was just called Test. And we'll click the Start button. And as soon as we start the game, on the first question, it'll ask us how many people that the contestant will be playing against. So what this means is there'll be one main contestant of the game show, and then the rest of the class or the rest of the audience will be contestants that work inside of the audience. So we will type in how many the main contestant will be playing against. So let's say we have 20 audience members that are part of what we call the mob, and we'll click the continue button. So now it's 1 versus 20. And we also have 3 helps on the screen, and those are right there, but we can't use those yet. We cannot use those until we actually see a question. So let's go ahead and start the game by clicking on the next question button. And we have our question here. What is the name of the current president? We have our 3 answers, and we have our cheats. And those are poll the mob, ask the mob, or trust the mob. And you can use those one time per game. So let's just go ahead and click Obama. You can see that is the correct answer. And after we know that the contestant got this question right, we would enter the number of people in the mob that actually missed the question. So let's say one person missed that question, and then we'll move on. So now it's 1 versus 19. That person that got the question wrong has been eliminated. Another interesting feature is you can actually adjust the number in the mob. So if another student walks in the classroom, or maybe a few people in the audience are talking, you can actually take them in and out of the mob as need be. Let's go ahead and click the next question button and see our last question here. Where is the White House? And as you can see, the buttons down here are for the main contestant. So you're actually going to enter the main contestant's answer when clicking on this screen. All the audience members or all the members in the mob actually need to be keeping their questions and answers, or actually just their answers, on a separate sheet of paper. Another great way to play this is with miniature chalkboards or miniature whiteboards, where the members of the mob can hold up their answer after the contestant has chosen his answer. So let's just go ahead and get this one wrong just so we can see what happens next. So if the question is wrong, there's a couple options. We can actually restart the game from scratch. This would start the questions from the very first question of the game onto the last. We can also retry from the last question and reset the mob. And what that does is we go back to the last question that was missed, and we actually reset everyone that was in the mob is back in the mob. We also have the retry from last question and keep the mob. And that means we're going to go back to the last question that was missed, and we are going to keep the mob as is. So everyone that was eliminated is still eliminated, and we also have the end game. So let's just go ahead and retry from the last question and keep the mob. And once again, we have some on-screen directions on what to do. We click the continue button, and we can see that our mob has been reset, but we're still on that question that was last missed. And you can simply use these help buttons by clicking the help, and once you click it actually explains the help for you, so you kind of know what's going on. And then we can pick the correct answer. Once again, we'll type how many people from the mob answered the question wrong, and let's just say that all 20 answered wrong, and that would mean that there's no one left in the mob. So once there's no one left in the mob, there's lots of different scenarios that can play out in this game, and you can always start from the last question and basically restart the game, even if too many students get eliminated from the mob or too many audience members miss questions. So that's the basics of the game. And if you need more help, feel free to click that instructions button when you first launch the game, and it will walk you through how to play.